Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with random reviews from the Overflow room. And we are still working our way backwards through the alphabet. We have a few more videos to go of Martinu. Isn't that cool? I think we've done 10 so far. I think we'll probably have 13 or so by the time we're done, which is really pretty special for a composer who was all but unknown just a few decades ago. I think that's really nifty because it's great stuff, and the world has piled in to make him more available, starting with, well, not necessarily, the Stamitz Quartet doing the complete Martinu string quartets. There are a couple Martinu quartet cycles. The Pinocchio Quartet is the cycle of choice, if you can still find it. Stamitz is a good group, but they are not one of my favorite Czech groups. They have a corporate sonority that strikes me as a bit edgy and less appealing than the best Czech quartets. You know, the Smetana Quartet, the Pinocchio Quartet, the Pavel Haas Quartet, the Spelich Quartet. The Czech quartets are wonderful things, and they're certainly not bad, but there are better ones. This is on Bayer Records, if it still exists at all. Actually, I think it was boxed up and reissued on Brilliant Classics, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, the quartets are great pieces. There are 7 of them. The first is subtitled The French, because it sounds like the Debussy and the Ravel. It's early 1918 from Ravel's extremely impressionist phase. Actually, I think there are a couple from before even that. And then the last one is from 1947, from sort of towards the end of his mature phase, when he wrote all the symphonies and stuff like that, when he had about a decade and a bit more to live. So they cover his entire career, just about, except for the very last decade, and they're well worth hearing. Number 5 is a masterpiece. It's a dark, brooding, intense, almost Bartók-like quartet, similar to the Concerto for 2-string orchestras, piano, and percussion. Just a very gripping and angst-filled piece. But the fun ones are not so bad either. Not everything has to be miserable. There we go. So there you go. I mean, in fact, Martinu said that. He said there has to be music that's, fit for something more than the expression of suffering. Good for him. We don't want to suffer. Symphonies 5 and 6 with the Berlin Symphony Orchestra under Klaus-Peter Flor, a cycle that never got finished, unfortunately. There was another one that had symphonies, what was it, 1 and 4, I think, and 2 and 3 never got made. I don't know. 2 of them didn't get made. We talked about it because we showed the other disc in this series. They're very good performances, actually. It's a shame that they weren't completed. Number 6 has a tiny little bit of ensemble imprecision at the onset of the first allegro in the first movement. I remember that kind of vividly. I tend to remember things that don't go exactly as they should, but I mean, it's not a big deal. And these aren't available anyway, so what's the point? Here's a wonderful twofer of Martinu stuff. James Conlon did 2 discs of Martinu concertante works, and here they are, coupled together on Erato, if you could still find them. The double concerto for, the concerto for 2-string orchestras, piano and timpani, the double concerto for 2-string orchestras, whatever you want to call it, that thing. The concerto for string quartet and orchestra, the Tre Ricercare, the frescoes of Piero della Francesca, the Sinfonietta La Jolla, and the Toccata e Due Canzoni. Nice performances. I actually saw Conlon conduct the frescoes of Piero della Francesca. Amazingly, I actually saw one of these things live. Boy, are they terrific pieces. They really are. And then we've got, let's see, MDNG. This is a delicious disc of chamber music with Ensemble Villa Musica. Serenade 4, the quartet for clarinet, horn, cello, and snare drum. There's an interesting little piece. The Serenade 3 for oboe, clarinet, 4 violins, and cello. Serenade 1 for clarinet, horn, viola, 3 violins, and viola. And Serenade 2 for 2 violins and viola. I mean, Martinu was endlessly inventive when it came to these chamber music things and naming them. There are madrigals, there's serenadas, there's all this stuff. And they're really enjoyable pieces. So that's fun to hear. What is this thing? Oh, yes. some of his late choral works and other goodies. The complete Spelich ballet. That's a ballet with singing. And it's been recorded a couple of times. Macaris, I think, did the whole thing, or at least a huge suite from it, not Conifer. But we've got, it's a folk ballet story kind of hoogie thing. And then we've got the Dandelion Romance for mixed choir and soprano solo, and 5 duets on texts of Moravian folk songs for sopranos, altos, violin, and piano. Sounds redolent of Dvorak's Moravian duets, the pieces that first made his reputation. The endless treasure trove of Czech folk music that both composers drew on. And they're very, very different styles, very interesting. But Spelich is just a wonderful, wonderful choral ballet that deserves far more attention than it gets. And here are the 5 Serenades. Remember the Serenades we just talked about? Well, here they are. There are 5 of them, actually. One of them is for chamber orchestra, and it's dedicated to Roussel's teacher, Albert Roussel. From 1930, one of his neoclassical pieces. And Roussel's influence is evident. A lot of his music from this period. The other ones are the same ones as the ones in that Ensemble Villa Musica thing on MDNG, but this is on Superfon with the Prague Chamber Orchestra. A wonderful little disc. Just another excuse for for the Martinu box we've been screaming about. It would be very, very large, but there's lots and lots of music to cover. As, for example, this wonderful ballet, The Butterfly That's Stamped. Jerzy Bielachlavek with the Prague Symphony Orchestra, and there's a female choir. What The Butterfly is doing, I have no clue. I forget the story of the ballet. I just listen to the music. It's an exotic Orientalist ballet. It's so much fun. It's rich and delicious. And it has, in front of Suleiman's palace, you see it's got the dance before Suleiman and his wives, the quarrelsome queens, the dance of the butterflies, the dance of the butterflies and flowers, more dance of the butterflies, and finale. You get the picture. It's a fantastical ballet on an exotic subject. And Martinu's exoticism is really lots of fun because it's very, very exotic. His music has an exotic quality anyway because of its phantasmagorical elements. So when he's exotic, he's really going there, and it's delicious. Who is the most powerful in the world? Oh, this is a charming neoclassical piece about mice. Yes, the characters are mice, and it is fabulous, a fabulous work that deserves all the attention you can give it. It's with Bielachlavek again in the Prague Symphony, 55-minute long, 1-act, juicy ballet with mice. Would make a nice double bill with the Nutcracker, actually, now that I think about it. It's charming, charming music, it's full of fun. And then we've got this sucker, Complete Works for 2 Pianos, on Agentura Records. Never heard of that. With the Prague Piano Duo and the Pardubice Chamber Philharmonic Orchestra under Leos Swarovski, recorded in 1991. I don't know if this even exists anymore, this label, but we've got the Concerto for 2 Pianos and Orchestra, which is a masterpiece. We've talked about it multiple times. The Fantasy for 2 pianos, 3 Czech dances for 2 pianos, and the Impromptu for 2 pianos. So there you go, a nice, convenient way to get all of his piano duo stuff, which no one will ever find again. So there you have it, my friends. More Martinu. Keep on listening. Take care.